All right, speculators, let's fire up the Futures Fanatic live stream for Tuesday, election day, partial election day, Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. If you're first one in here, if you can give me one for picture and sound, I think everything's going, but I haven't streamed for a little while, well, since Thursday. Want to remind everybody that this broadcast is for educational purposes only. You want to remember that all trades presented should be considered hypothetical and should not be expected to be replicated in a live trading account. And that is because thank you for the picture and sound. I'm trading predominantly in the prop programs. Although my purpose here is I do have I have a live trade on here in the Dow and in the Bitcoin markets. So there's the Dow. I'm actually short. I've been short just below as it's banging around this 190 area. So 190 is POC over there, and then I'll sell another one at 47.219s, and have also been trading Bitcoin from the downside, catching it, popping it, catching it, popping it. I have it in the in a couple prop programs here as well that are up pretty nicely actually. So I'm just gonna scale out of it in prop, just with taking the quick $30
Order filled.
and try to catch it here as well.
Order filled.
And here.
Order filled.
And then the plan is to hold it in this account and to hold it in the live account. So see if we get it a move back up here to
order submitted.
101.915s. Also, if you've been watching gold, it round tripped from a big sell-off this morning, got down to about 39.37-ish area, and has gone full round trip. You never go full round trip until you go full round trip. So I am involved in that market too. I just bought 39.48s. Let me show you that over here. These are all live trades. So let me see, TradingView. So in that, and that will be a hold. That account has $5,800 in it. And on a position like that, I'll likely hold it. Just hold that position. And then back on this main account, focus today again is going to be probably Bitcoin and the Dow. So come over here to the Dow. See, we're getting a little pop there. Be interesting what happens right here at the 47.190s. That will be the line in the sand. How many times can we pop up there and trade between that and VWAP? We'll see. Not a whole lot else going on. Of course, the Nasdaq has sold off pretty dramatically. Might be bottom fishing the Nasdaq if it gets outside the bands. That's going to require, on the MNQ, it's going to require a move to, I guess, it's got to get below 560s. We're trading 25 560s. Any of you have been following around, or any folks in my trade room are aware that I've been holding on to an unprofitable Qs position. I did close about 10% of it today, just sort of breaking even on that tranche. I've been shorting the Qs from around 612. My last ad was at 636-ish, 636-ish. So in my mind, I closed the last in, first out, right? You do a little last in, first out action. Yeah, the MNQs, given how much range we've had today, should be a manageable long if we see some scare the kids. Plus, that's going to be below the sort of magical 500. There's nothing down 500 that's magical. Really, the Nasdaq on the big days, it can get 600, 700, 800. But that's not that much on a percentage basis anymore. It's not even 2% yet because the index is so elevated. But the Qs are trading 621s, which is... and I am targeting back down there at 598. So let me show you what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this. This is the Qs here are trading right at the 55. So this chart right here is just it's a 4-hour chart. I have the 233 applied. You can see how perfect that was there. A little ATR action, a 55, a visible range profile, and a 233. And going back to about the Middle part of September is what this profile is based off of, and my eye just sees a move back to 600. So we're breaking down a little bit here. Maybe we get a little bit further. Never works out perfectly, but my plan would be to cover my short for pretty decent profits at 600, given the ads that I did there on the Qs. And you can see also we're starting to officially fill this gap here. We've had a number of pretty sizable gaps now on the Qs. That's why we love trading the futures markets, right? Because we don't have to deal with gaps. Although we've had some gaps recently. There goes the Dow. Don't make me look like a fool being short late in the day and you're just going to rally on my ass. Don't rally on my ass. Let's go to Bitcoin. We need Bitcoin to rally on my ass. Yeah, Palantir selling off. I think also I'm hearing little new that hidden in the Amazon earnings, sort of quietly in the Amazon earnings, was the growth of their chip business. You got to know that every company out there doesn't want to be reliant on NVIDIA. It never works this way, everybody. And now this entire market is NVIDIA. So I'm not calling for a crash of NVIDIA or a complete sea change of their technology, but this one's pretty easy to see how it can kind of unravel for a 15, 10, 15, 20% decline in the markets. It's just some decent breakthrough of an alternative to the NVIDIA chips. And anyway, Amazon has a chip of some kind. Everyone's working on a chip. So when this one falls apart a little bit, and when I say falls apart, I just mean a scare the children, kind of nice decline. They're all going to look to all these very obvious things that are already going on right now. Anyway, this channel and this stream is not about macro stock kind of stuff. We're about day trading the futures markets here using daily risk budgets, micros only, appropriate size for small accounts. And that's what we're doing. Gold, I'm already long. So on gold, gold I got a long going on here. 39. I'm long from 39.48. So need a little pop there. As soon as I'm done doctoring my my day over here, I'll show that a little later. I don't have a giveaway. I don't have a giveaway today, so there's nothing to give away. But looking to trade a couple of my live accounts to more solid green ass than they are. We'll see what happens. All right, there's the Dow approaching VWAP.
Order filled.
And here we go. Trade room this morning. I was long Dow for a hot minute. Then it had a nice move. Had a decent amount of folks that were trading that off of the bid zone all the way up to the offer zone. I don't think we quite touched the plus twos today on the Dow Jones. Also wanted to let everybody know that if you are interested in joining our free Discord, I'm going to start putting that in the chat here. Let me just grab it here. Invite people. I don't want to invite friends. I want to invite people. There we go. So the Discord is going to be, it's broken up into a free area here. And in that free area, we have our Trader Talk Tuesday segment from today, where I spoke to a new member of our trading community who, like many others, was just tired of doing it the wrong way and being stressed out and not making any progress and always seeing accounts get to funded and then maybe a payout and then a blow up and then they're underwater and there's not much room left in them. We don't do that here. Slow and steady, acorns to oak trees. Size appropriately for the size of the account. If you have a big account, by all means, you can trade accordingly. But until you learn how to manage risk in a small account, you're going to have trouble growing a larger account. And on a percentage basis, what you can do in smaller accounts is just phenomenal. Because yes, you are taking on more risk and more leverage as a percentage of your account. And then you know my story. Start to use leverage across accounts, across prop firms, instead of over leveraging yourself in any one. Go gold. All right, let's do a little wizardry and move away from the one that is losing to another one that is losing. So we'll watch both that are losing. What I do in my trade room if we have losing trades is I just come and I put a copy bar over them. So let's do that today. Yes, the sad clown is a good one. Got to use the sad clown one. These positions, this is how it makes me feel. All right. Scalp this one back down to
order submitted.
next stop on the -2s on Bitcoin is 99,795. Could get very ugly. Exciting and ugly all at the same time. We're on our way to that level.
Order filled.
Let's watch it. There's a lot of good movement over here, so we'll watch it here. Ooh, I got to get it down to this level. Come on. Here we go. All right. Let me move this over a little bit so you can see it. I think you should be able to see it. And let's make sure I'm on the right screen. Yes, we're on the right screen. There we go. So your eye is drawn right to what's happening on the hard right edge of the screen because this is how you trade. You don't have to look left all that much. Just put your order on that line, 99,615, and you're going to see with this amount of range that your volatility bands are going to get you done here too. I haven't done the back testing for Bitcoin because it's a very small instrument. It's a newer thing. But for most instruments, this just works. And by just works, I mean when you have this much range, you're going to find that the vast majority of price action is going to take place between two standard deviations. The number for the S&P is about 82% on all given days, and that's all days. It doesn't matter what the volatility profile is, and if it's more than that, oh, look at that. I think I have some in the prop programs that are now just about break even. So let me just break even here.
Order filled.
And break even here almost. No, not quite.
Order filled.
There we go. Put the order on the line again, which is 955. And those of you who know how Ninja works, I can actually just attach it there, but so bounce before we get to the -2s, but I could see a scare the kids move all the way to the -2s. Come on, Dow, suck it. So classic mean reversion stuff. Looking for weakness and for VWAP to hold here on the Dow Jones, and for a bounce in Bitcoin. And if we don't get one, that's fine. But -2 should be manageable there. So let me answer some of the questions here. Let me make sure I'm on the right screen for the questions. So the one I'm answering now is going to be, do you ever trade negative RR? Does that mean negative risk rewards? It'd be difficult for me to calculate that too much. I teach here what you can do to have stops and targets that will put the probabilities in your favor, or at least make sure that you're always 1-to-1. And these are dynamic entries. So as an example, if you got long down here, one target could be all the way up here at this line, right? So if you measure the distance between that line and this line, here to here. Let me answer the question first. I don't, because I don't really have any stops. So without stops, it's hard for me to tell you that I'm trading always with a 1-to-1 or 0.5-to-1 or 2-to-1 or inverse risking twice what I'm willing to make even when I'm in scalping mode. I wouldn't be able to provide those stats. So what I can provide is my positions right here on the screen, and then you can judge for yourself what this might look like. But if you wanted to calculate a way to do this mechanically, your entry is here. Now obviously I'm already long, but if you enter at the -2s, you have 2,000 points, right? $2,000, whatever you want to look at it, $2,000. And if you wanted a 2-to-1, you'd have a 1,000-point stop with a 2,000-point target. And your entry at 99.47 is dynamic. It's a line that's moving, that's 2 standard deviations from, and your target is dynamic. You're not looking left or drawing a fib or a trend line or guessing. Now you can take targets anywhere else that you want. One of the reasons I like these swing levels here is because they provide other little visual cues of resistance on the way down, right? Areas that I may want to be taking some profits. Nasy's starting to shit the bed a little bit here. See if it can get down to the -2s as well.
Order submitted.
Checking in with the Dow, we hit target there, so I'm just going to scalp it again.
Order submitted.
So 47,218s. Now, those that are pretty familiar with my teachings, if you will, when you're first starting out, don't fiddle in the middle. This is the middle, right? So what you can be doing is taking longs off of -2 and target at VWAP. Longs from -1, top of the bid zone to VWAP are okay, very kosher, simple way to start. But over time, you can develop whatever you want. Just don't be making up entries. Make sure that for the most part, those are at the lines. There's a lot of members of our group that make up other entries. I make them up too. I try to do my best to say when I'm making something up, but for the most part, just put the order on the line. The way I'm trading this Bitcoin right now is classic stay in your lane. I'm not making anything up. I can make up another level here, which isn't completely made up if I just wanted to say, oh, we got some swing lows here. Right? I'm going to draw a little bid zone in here and say, all right, I'll build more of a position. If it was earlier in the day, I would do that. If it was earlier in the day, I would keep, this was a few hours ago and I was seeing this price action, I'd have orders here and here for a 4 lot. All the way down to my last entry at 99,500. Back to Dow, not a lot going on there, so we can just watch Bitcoin. And now I'm actually long the Nasdaq too from right here. So I'm long NASI from essentially the same thing, these symmetrical double bottoms here. This is a total crapshoot. Easy for it to push in either direction. But so my Kerpos short Dow, long Nasdaq, long Bitcoin. And given that that's in a live account, I don't have to give two craps about whether that's a violation of any silly prop rule.
Order filled.
All right, quick switch to these props that do have Bitcoin in them. Just going to sell that. That's the average for the accounts today. I'm up about $200 to $400 across most of the accounts. Come on, Bitcoin. All right, what was the next question here? Can you please tell us how you trade the futures options, what platform you use for that, and what strat? Yeah, the best way to learn that is to watch the mastermind I did, which is available for members of my group. I can't answer that here. What I can tell you is I trade them on 4 different platforms, usually on Tasty and on Interactive Brokers. So that's the place I trade them. I have 4 other accounts that can trade options, futures on options, but 95% of my trades, 96, 97, probably almost every single one except the ones I do on Tasty just for shits and giggles and education, because there was a options trading bot that I had used in the past that I might revisit at some point. So the answer is Interactive Brokers. That's where I trade those. There's no additional strategy, so nothing else to need to learn. You simply just use the range trader. By the way, those that are interested, I am still long the ZT, which is just ridiculous. I have a single contract here, but so the strategy that I use is called the range trader for that. So as an example, when you get a buy signal here, indicated by the extreme turn, let me just make sure you guys can see that on the screen. This green line, and then here's a sell signal that came in right when it touched T line. You can express those trades as options trades by selling a ZT put when you have a long signal, or selling a call when you have a short signal. Do I offer one-on-one calls? I don't, no. So we have great support in our group, though. If you end up getting involved, you can take a free trial. You can talk to various members of our group. We have a pre-market group, which is probably going to switch to members only, but right now I think it's open. That's open for an hour before the market opens. Someone's saying, rather than putting up the sad clown, just switch to another account. Yeah, that's the voodoo and dynamics that some folks do. I only have 2 positions on here. Excuse me, 3. I'm long Nasdaq, I'm short Dow Jones, and I'm long Bitcoin. So that's all I can't bounce around. All I can do is put the sad clown back up if we don't like what's going on. All right, next question here. Do you know of a prop firm that actually allows hedging? Yeah, to my knowledge, you can trade however you want at like the futures desk. So that would be a good one to check out. Their claim to fame is, hey, if you can do it in a live account, you can do it in our accounts, because they just have they have an evaluation period, and after that, you're in live markets. Go, Nasdaq. Come on, baby. Let's go, Nasdaq. Let's go, Nasdaq. Let's go. Let's go, Nasdaq. Let's go. Let's go, Nasdaq. Let's go.
Order submitted.
Okay, I'm running a little sell stop here now, and I'm going to turn that off. Let's go, Nasdaq. Let's go. All right, we almost got even on our Bitcoin. How is that even possible? All right, we got profit here. I'm just going to take it.
Order filled. Order canceled.
Get back in on Bitcoin again in.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
I have this bad habit of we're making money in all the prop programs because they don't feel real, right? And down slightly in the live account. We can't have that. Try the futures desk. What time frame are your Bollinger Bands? I'm not using Bollinger Bands. These are VWAP bands. VWAP bands that you can get for free over here on TradingView. The ones I'm using on TradingView are called VWAP Standard Bands V2 Mod. You can see, I don't know if you can see that, it's very small, but I'll read it to you. VWAP Standard Bands V2 Mod. They're available in the community indicators. Don't use Bollinger Bands because the midpoint of a Bollinger Band, you have to select what value you want it to be. You can select VWAP as the midpoint of a Bollinger Band, but then the logic associated with the bands is different. Just use standard deviation, it's better. So that's how you do that over there. And if you want to get access to these on NinjaTrader, then hold on a second here. Ooh, look at that. That's not good.
Order filled.
If you want to get access to them on NinjaTrader, then I'm just going to see if we can get a fill there. There we go. The ultimate thing is to wait for 99 410s. So what you're seeing here on NinjaTrader, you can get these now for free if you work with a prop firm that is using Trade Prop, which includes a license to the order flow suite on NinjaTrader. So one way you could do that is just do some research for which firms are supporting Trade Prop. Off the top of my head, I can tell you Blue Sky is. I can tell you Trade Day is. Anyone in the chat, if you know of others. Then all you have to do is get a account from one of those. By the way, you can use code TDG or code Fanatic at either one if you want. You have to use one of either of those or others, and then when you log in, you will have access to the order flow suite, and you can apply that order flow suite to your charts. All right. Once again, how many times can we rinse and repeat here? Let's see. Maybe one more. Take Profit Trader as well. Okay. Yeah, the question about time frame. There's no time frame on there's a time frame on this chart, and it's a tick chart. So on TradingView over here, I'm using a 5-minute. So if you think in terms of time-based charts, this is a 5-minute because I can't set up the Rankos on that chart. So over here, the logic associated with the value of the levels or the bands is exactly the same. It doesn't matter if it was a 30-minute or a 5-minute or a tick chart, which is what these are. These are modified Rankos that allow you to configure the tick increment and the open of a new bar. I like them because they're different, and all of the vast majority of the people out there, the youth, the misguided youth, they're just looking at time-based candles. Which is fine. That's what I use over on Range Trader. I just use a 30-minute candle. But if you're going to do active, close target type of trading, someone would call it scalping, I prefer these. Apex has it now. Cool. So, no, just having Trade is not enough. You have to have Trade, and they have to have paid more to Ninja for the order flow suite. So there is a differentiation. There's 15 firms that support Trade, but I don't know if they all yet also are including the order flow suite in your instance of Ninja, because that used to be something you had to pay for either as a monthly subscription or you had to buy a lifetime license. Someone's mentioning you could hedge between prop firms. The situation with hedging, I want to get this out of the way, is I don't use hedging as a strategy. What happens is if you're trading a mean reversion approach and you're trading a lot of instruments, especially the 4 stock indices, Dow Jones, S&P, Russell, Nasdaq, you are going to naturally, just in the course of your trading, have positions that are in correlated instruments that are being traded someone misunderstood. They thought that I was trading full NQ and then the NQ against it, or long the NQ in one account and short the NQ. And no, nothing like that. This was just correlated instruments being long or short in the same account, which is silly. It's just silly because it has nothing to do with reality. You should not be out there hedging or trading two accounts against each other or trying to do anything like that. For retail, there is true spread trading that's a real thing. There are some opportunities that exist around roll that are very cool, around being long and short correlated instruments or having partials on, but that's way more complicated than you need to do here. If you want to avoid what I was complaining about before, I could avoid it too. I could choose to just trade the Dow Jones and gold, or just trade the micro Bitcoin and Nasdaq. If I just did that, if I removed all the other instruments from my screens, I would never have a violation. I'd never get a payout denial at Apex. I complain about it, but the payout denial situation is a good thing because it keeps me on all these firms to see if we can get to the point where more of them could be like the futures desk. There is no hedging instance. There's nothing at the futures desk like that because hedging is not a real thing. You can do whatever you want in a live account. You know how I know that? Because I'm short the Dow Jones and I was long the Nasdaq just a moment ago. They didn't say you can't do that at NinjaTrader. Of course not. Not only can you do it, but they're going to give you span margin. In other words, the margin impact of being long and short S&P and Nasdaq, you get actual buying power back as a virtue of being in positions like that, because they calculate it as actually truly a hedge, as something that could. Now, here's the other final point on this, which is silly, is that the correlations between the stock indices are actually pretty high. They're higher than they appear, but there are many, many days in which you can just look up at your screen and go, wow, the Russell is a severe laggard today, right? Or a day like today where the Nasdaq is a much bigger laggard on a percentage change from close basis or any kind of metric than the Dow Jones, right? All right, back to Bitcoin. Can we pull it off? Okay, so Tarzan Adam mentioning there's a number of different ways that you can get access to these bands if you'd like. 100% though, I can tell you, if you have just any kind of plan at TradingView that allows you to apply more than one indicator, and you're the type of person that wants to invest in your business, just buy a plan over there. It doesn't have to be a huge plan, but everybody listening to my voice should aspire to three things. And I don't know how aspirational this is. You should have an interactive broker's account. Okay? I think the minimum to have one is 30,000. Not everyone has 30,000. Eventually have that. I personally do not believe that there's any serious traders out there, and I mean serious professional traders, that are at AMP or Ninja or whatever. That's fine if you are, no problem. But interactive brokers, you should have a TradingView plan of some kind so you can chart and do analysis on all asset classes: Forex, crypto, stocks, futures. The way you get data over to your TradingView plan is through any of these prop programs. And then if you're into this, you should, especially depending on where you're at in your career, you should set a little goal for yourself as to how many payouts can you receive in a year from the same accounts. The same 5, the same 3. That's a factor of not losing those accounts, respecting a daily risk budget, and trading in a sensible manner to where you're just not stressed out and it doesn't matter. All right, let's go Bitcoin. Come on, baby. Bail me out.
Order filled.
All right, just took profit on one of them. Dow Jones doesn't look like it's going to bail me out. I thought I'd get one more round trip down to 47,190.
Order filled.
What have you guys been trading today? What's your day entailed? Let me know the instrument and kind of if you were tending to be long or short it. All right, I'm going to come back to Bitcoin for a moment. Yes, I'll move away from this losing Dow trade where I'm down a whopping. And I'm going to come over to these series of accounts, and I'm just going to take this one here.
Order
These
filled.
are PAs, so up $400 there. I'm hiding this from you until I can get this last live account green. No, I'm not hiding it. I just brought it over. Anyway, it's kind of cool, you guys. There's a lot of you that are in here frequently. You don't even ask, like, how's your day or what's... Show me all that made-up green that you have on your screen in accounts that are always above their starting account balance. Anyway, this is the live account that you're watching down here, and it's still down because I got in Bitcoin a little bit early. So let's see if I can get it back above 5,000 or not. You guys got long in the Bitcoin. So you're trading MBT long, gold long, MNQ long. Yeah, scalps. That's about what the market's offering right now. Damn it. Damn you, Dow Jones.
Order submitted.
Let's go to the thing that's winning. Winning. Why do the prop firms only around micro Bitcoin instead of regular Bitcoin? Well, it's bad enough that the prop firms allow you to trade any minis, and I mean that. It's just the dumbest thing ever. You can't. Yes, there's margin, there's day margin that would allow you to hold during the day some amount of minis in these small accounts at certain discount brokers, but you can't do that at Tasty, and you can't do it at Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab, and you can't do it at Interactive Brokers, so you shouldn't be able to do it at Reddit, any of these firms. But the answer on the Bitcoin is the Bitcoin contract is massive. The Bitcoin contract is 5 Bitcoin, not 1 Bitcoin. So I know that when there's a lot of people trading kind of like what looks like spot, when you trade 1 Bitcoin, there's no leverage. You have 1 Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes down 5,000, you're down 5,000. It goes up 5,000, you're up 5,000, as if you were... The futures are pretty correlated, or they're exactly correlated on a dollar basis. There's a difference between the price, but the value of the instrument of a single lot of a Bitcoin. But that's not how the futures work. I don't know why they set them up this way. I think at the time they launched the Bitcoin futures, Bitcoin was a much smaller product, or in terms of dollar amounts. So that's the answer, because one large Bitcoin contract or regular Bitcoin contract is 5 Bitcoin.
Position synchronized. Position closed. Position open.
Look, we almost got there. That's annoying. All right, I'm going to buy this large swing line right there, all the way down to the -2s. 99.330s should hopefully be a manageable long. Hope is not a strategy, but we'll see. All right, so you guys are trading a mixture of most of the things that I was involved with. A little bit of gold, a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of Dow, a little bit of Nasdaq. I'm long the Nasdaq here.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
I'm not going to let it creep lower. We got 3 minutes till the market on close, and you know anything's possible here. So Bitcoin's not going to care too much about the market on close orders. Is Prop Shop having issues? Just got a message on Tickblaze. My account was deactivated. I don't know. Let me log in.
Order filled.
I'll log in over here.
Order submitted.
Interesting. Yeah, I just logged in and they're grayed out. My accounts are grayed out. So maybe they had some issue with Rhythmic. Did anyone else experience that? They're kind of like grayed out. I got to be honest with you, while there's been hiccups, of course, many of you know that I'm invested in, not directly in the prop firm, but I'm invested in the technology Tickblaze and in some of the other backings of the, and the fact that we've been on Rhythmic this whole time and the amount of Rhythmic disruptions they're there. Rhythmic is just terrible. It's actually been pretty decent. So generally when you see something like that, it's a Rhythmic problem. So something happened with Rhythmic. Now, I know that it sucks when any of those things happen, but yet another, let me scream from the mountaintop. If you're involved in micros, I'm going to just take this on this little pullback there. If you're involved in micros, it's a heck of a lot easier to just not be all freaked out or anything about your P&L. You know, how hurt can you really get? You don't have to be in that category of I need a reset and this all happened to me. Now, I get it. If you're, long or short a couple micros, it costs 10 accounts. It's a real thing, and you need access. And when there's problems, the firms should help you out. But hopefully, you figure out what I got going on here. The amount of times I heard, well, this happened, this happened to my data feed, or this happened at this prop firm, or this happened here, and I blew up. Yeah. You probably blew up because you were already way up. There we go. Here we go. Come on.
Order filled.
That's a little bit of a sell-off there. Come on, suck it, Nasdaq. Let's go, Bitcoin. Let's go, Bitcoin. Yeah, you're unable to place orders. I'm unable to even get to my account. So there is an issue going on over there. So ideally, if you guys are able to, what I would suggest is log into RTrader. It might be a connection issue between Tickblaze and RTrader. If you're logged in on another platform and I'm logging in on Tickblaze and that's what I'm seeing. It might be universal, but just take a deep breath, and what you should be able to do is get in on RTrader and just get flat. Get flat everything. Unless you're short the Dow with me here, baby.
Order submitted.
I don't know if you guys saw where we went down to, right to this line, right here. This yellow line right here is, so I have a profile on here just like I have on the 30-minute, That is that 47,190 has been VPOC, volume point of control. We call it POC sometimes. So it's been sitting there all juicy and stuff. Well, I was definitely a dick for a tick on this Bitcoin here. Moving my, I don't want to be buying anywhere in here. This is no man's land here. So definitely a dick for a tick over there. They're going to fry these Nasdaq longs. Fry them up good. All right, I'm going to watch Bitcoin, and I'll watch the Dow on the other. So we're going to watch Bitcoin. Both positions are profitable, which is great.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted.
Come on, Bitcoin. The issue is they're closing an hour early. What does that mean? Does that mean they didn't figure out the logic associated with daylight savings time? I'm just guessing. I don't know what that comment means, but I could see that. But that would have been a problem yesterday, right? Or on Sunday into Monday. Could you see if a firm didn't change their logic for daylight savings time? Stranger things have happened.
Order filled. Order submitted.
I'm looking for a scare the kids move lower here. Here we go. Come on. Suck it, Dow.
Order filled.
There we go. All right, one more little move down to 47,122. Make me look like a champ. So you were shut out yesterday an hour early too? Did someone contact them and let them know? I can text them if that's really going on. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I haven't been trading those accounts recently. Think ETH is going to get below 3,000? I don't think so. I have an order resting right at 3,000. 10 ETH, 3,000. Can we get there? What's ETH trading? 3,200-ish? ETH's down a lot today. Thank you, everybody. That should have been, you should have come in immediately and mentioned the greatest Game 7 World Series of all time. Some of the greatest individual performances in a World Series of all time. Including Clement on the Blue Jays. Had 31 hits in playoffs. That's insane. 31. Craziness. By the way, really just quick PSA, if you enjoy the content in the stream here, it really does help if you hit the like button, that whole thing. It would be great if just about everybody, it doesn't do anything. If you hit the like button, yeah, it might serve you up a couple shorts, so you have to see my face a few more times. You can probably tolerate that. If you hit the like button, that would be great. Only thing that I offer is a live trade room. I think the only way to really produce solid, good content is to talk through it and do it live. You probably see I don't produce that much stuff on my YouTube channel. I know that the YouTube channel is an important way to grow things by doing longer form set videos. But anyway, if you can do that, great. If you also want to check out my ebook, Prop Done Right, that'll get you on the list, so to speak. You'll be notified of when I stream. You'll get what I think is a great resource that will tell you how to approach these programs properly. And if you need any social proof, again, it's right here. So the big joke, doctoring this, but connected here, I have 2 live accounts. This one has 9,900 in it. This one has 4,950. It is a bummer that the one live account is down a little bit today, but this is well within the daily risk budget of $450. And if the frickin' Bitcoin will go higher, we'll be all right. Anyway, you guys can all do this. You can stitch it together eventually. And these are all, with the exception of these 2 accounts at the top, they're all payout qualified accounts. Yeah, we finally found some sellers. All right, one more minute. If you do have a question that I can answer, pop it in there in the next 15 seconds, and I can get to it before we're done. If not, thank you for your time and attention today. If you want to see how the sausage is made, in other words, how these numbers are, because I didn't produce this much during this trading session here. These were all trades that were just done before we started. Come on over to our trade room, get my free course, all that good stuff. Are these just for today? These are the ones I made up today and put in here. No, these are just for today. Yes, this is just today. I encourage you to go back and watch the stream. I think I've been streaming for 4 or 5 months now. I've had maybe 6 losing days in those 4 or 5 months, and I've done my best to highlight when those days were. And one of them was just idiotic, my fault. Actually lost an account, first PA I've lost in a long time, by doing overnight trading in gold. Oh my goodness, look at that. What in the hell? Jeez. All right, hold on. What a close. What a close. See if it comes back down. Yeah, as soon as I hear what's happening at Prop Shop, I'll let you know. It looks like, at least for me, that I don't know. Were you guys closed out and flat? Anyway, it's effed up. We'll figure it out. All right, that'll be it for today. Stay green, trade like you mean it. Thanks everybody. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you at the next one. Be good. Bye bye.